What's our next question there?
Let me see here. Mr. Rogelio. I can't even do that. Mr. Ro.
Guillermo, bring me my blood.
Let me see. He typed a little long thing here. He goes, if it's not too late, here's my question. The writer's strike of yesteryear was the impetus of reality TV. Mm-hmm. With shows like Lion King or Tiger Prince or whatever the
I saw that question.
Do any of us see that subsiding, and or how has that impacted scripted TV quality-wise? My thought is that there's really not any really good network TV anymore.
Network TV? No.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I
networks.
The networks nowadays, they don't make good TV. They make cheap crap like The Masked Singer, furries on TV that we all get the vote for, and
it's the
Survivor type shows.
It's the junk food of TV shows,
and all these stupid cooking competitions, and it's just so much bad TV, and that you can trace directly back to that time frame. These networks, I think, at least to me, they figured out how to make cheap television,
make a shit ton of money,
to make it cheap. To make a lot of money. Because I think I don't see a lot of good television anymore.
Because all those shows have that addictive quality to them. Where you
unless
get
they're one of the 10,000th iterations of a Law and Order series or something, or these terrible CSI shows, or
are they still going?
I don't know, but they might as well be, because there's shows like 911 and all these terrible cop dramas that are on TV. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
It makes me appreciate shows like Westworld a little bit more, even though I don't like it. It's a good television show, but it takes these cable networks to make the good television. The good stuff's coming from from Netflix now.
Yeah.
The networks aren't making good TV.
I watched a weird. We'll talk about it on our ending cap.
Yeah.
But, great question. Yeah, Ro. What do you think? You're a writer. Do you think that
I used to work in Hollywood?
Do you think that all these reality TV shows like Joe Dirt and Siegfried and Roy.
Joe Dirt.
How
dare you,
Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt.
He is a national treasure.
Tiger Prince. He's not.
The president is gonna exonerate him.
Oh my God. The president was talking about Joe Exotic.
Okay,
on
to be
C-SPAN.
fair, the president did not know who the shit Joe Exotic was.
Thank you, Mr. President, for not knowing who Joe Exotic was.
The press corps.
Yeah, honestly, good job on not knowing who that was. Just do other things.
But don't watch the reporter who during a national emergency and pandemic decided to ask the president, you are in the White House asking the president questions, and your question is, have you seen that show Joe Exotic? Matt.
Well,
Kadish.
Unlike the writer's strike, where you were literally not allowed to create anything new, with the coronavirus lockdown, you're going to have a lot of writers who have nothing but time on their hands. And so I could see a lot of deals being made. I could see a lot of spec shows and movies being written. And when production gears back up again, I think you're going to see a lot of pitches going out to studios and networks and stuff like that. And so we're probably going to see like an abundance of production with new scripted stuff coming down the pipeline, especially the fact that a lot of these studios have their own streaming services now and they need content for that stuff. Like even reality shows, like The Masked Singer and stuff like that, those things take time to film and produce, even though they can be done quicker and cheaper in some respects. But for the most part, like streaming services can't subsist off of reality TV. They need these like original series to get people in the door. And I don't agree that all network TV is crap. Like, with CBS All Access, because I was watching some of the other shows on that, in addition to Picard, there were some good shows on there.
Well, that's a streaming service, though, right?
But
that's I think what he's talking about is like free.
No, yeah, but they were showing like stuff from the CBS network. So, for instance, the show Evil, that airs free on CBS, and I thought that show was fantastic. So like there is good stuff out there. It's just a question of whether or not you have time to watch it. So yeah, I think that to answer Rose's question, that we're probably going to see a resurgence in scripted stuff, because unlike the writer's strike, there are people right now who are using this time to basically create new stuff to try to get made by the time the lockdown is lifted.
Okay. Do you have Nicholas Sheffer, Patreon of the podcast? Do you have his question up? No? Okay. Nick's question, Patreon of the God damn it. Stop giving me alcohol, Jude. It's all your fault. Patreon of the content. I did it a third time.
Patreon of the podcast.
Of the podcast. Dear Lord. Nick Schaefer. God, you got to tell me if I'm saying your last name right. I feel terrible every time. Question from Kevin Colosi. I'm assuming that's your friend. What do you think about the new information that's come out about Johnny Depp and the fact that he was the one being abused? Do you think Hollywood will welcome him back with open arms, or will they reject his ex-wife, who I believe she was the woman who played
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. She played Aqua Woman or whatever. Mira.
Queen Mira.
Aquaman. So what do you guys think? Johnny Depp's situation is a pretty tragic one because he's been thrown under the bus by the movement, the Me Too movement, for being some kind of an abusive man, and it turns out that that's the exact opposite of what's true. So do you think people are going to come back? Does he want to come back? I mean, he's freaking...
He needs the money.
He really does.
So he's going to start doing new movies. And
oh, yeah. Like, I think...
Will it be the same?
I hope.
Are we talking like just like reboots of Pirates of the Caribbean, or do you think he's going to go for newer stuff?
I don't know if he's going to necessarily be getting some quality scripts for a while. He's kind of become a caricature of himself with the whole
Jack Sparrow
character.
He's still a box office draw, though. Like I can
sure.
still see people, paying his asking price to get him.
And I can also
movies.
see it going the way of Mel Gibson in that shitball movie you watched last week.
It's a fantastic movie.
Probably more like Nicolas Cage, where he's just doing things to pay the tax man.
Yeah. I mean,
Nicolas Cage got some pretty good movies out now, too.
I was just going to say, I think it'll take a while.
They're way outweighed by his bad movies.
Yes.
But I think when Nicolas Cage did Mandy last year, people were like, that was a great movie. So I think he'll probably do some crappy pay the bills movies, and then after some time, I think maybe he'll get a good script, and I hope that he'll be smart about it, and he'll come out with a wowzer.
Throw him in the MCU. They need a new hero, right? They could make him Moon Knight or something. Who knows?
Hasn't Amber Heard already been kicked off the
No.
She hasn't?
Aquaman movie?
No, she hasn't officially.
Is Aquaman 2 even
replaced.
happening? I haven't heard any news about that.
Oh, yeah, it's happening.
Okay. Anyway, $1 billion. It probably
I hope
should.
season 2 comes out first.
I watched the Jason Momoa movie this week.
You did?
It was fucking bananas. I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
What do we got? That's part of our BS comments. Do we have any more comments from listeners?
I don't know. None that I know of.
Oh, that was only 2, right?
Yeah, that's all, because we only have 2 fans. Nick and Ro. All right, cool.